Mark Golding is a threat to democracy. I do not say that lightly. I have said it before. I continue to say that Mark Golding is a very serious threat to democracy. And if you're not paying attention to that, it means that you're not paying attention to anything at all. Hello, everyone. Karen Cecilia here. I have a few things I just want to share with you. I don't think I can stop saying this as much as I would really love to stop talking about this because we're not entirely dunce people, particularly the members of the PMP. We're not entirely done. Some only yes, but we're not entirely done. So we must understand some things now that people don't have to repeat some things to you. But give up on everything, it appears. And I don't want to be a failure by not continuing to talk about something as important as this. Everywhere across the world, the buzzwords that have been spoken by leaders and people and international spokespersons and pundits and politicians and everybody talking about democracy, the threat, things that are a threat to democracy, democracy at risk because of this or democracy at risk because of that. Lately, it is Trump being the greatest risk to democracy, according to the people in the United States, and to some extent, they are absolutely correct. Democracy ceased to exist long time in places like Russia. Democracy has never existed in China, places like Hungary and Turkey, and in places. I mean, democracy is being stifled and trampled and all over the world. And as much as Jamaica is just a small little place, well, small and little are the same two words, so let me get my English up to date. As much as Jamaica is a small place, we must not take it for granted that we too are at risk when it comes to our democracy. And the person that has brought that to bear mostly over the last 3 years is Mark Jefferson Golding. He's the one that has put our democracy at risk in the most blatant way that we can look at and say, which is why I don't trust him with Jamaica. It's just this. This is one of the reasons, one of the most overwhelming reasons why I don't trust him with Jamaica. I don't trust him with the PMP, but I don't trust him. I'm not a member of the PMP. You can go ahead and trust him. I don't trust him with Darwin Manley Party. I don't trust him with Jamaica. And he's a very, very serious threat to democracy. For the past 3 years, both him and him cronies them have been telling the PMP members that election is just around the corner. So no one should or no one can contest for any elected position because the election is just around the corner. For 3 years now, it must be a very steep and deep corner that no can reach us. For 3 years, you all have been impotent about keeping democracy alive. Democracy must be kept alive. No organization that proclaims itself to be a democratic organization can survive and thrive and grow without its democratic ideals and principles being alive. And part of that democracy being alive is people from time to time have to vote for people and challenge people. That is a part of the whole makeup of the democracy. That's how it works. Your organization is in bad shape. Bad shape if none of the people who holds elected office can stand up to a challenge. If your vice presidents can't stand up to a challenge, if your regional chairman and secretaries can't stand up to a challenge, if your constituency organization cannot stand up to a challenge, your organization is in bad shape because the people who are leading you cannot stand up to a challenge. And that is enough to tell you that you are in bad shape. Democracy is shared power. It is given and it is taken. It is given away by those who are ruled over, who are the people, and it is the only power that you, the people, have. Your vote, your democratic right to cast a vote. Whether you are in an organization, in church, church rule mostly by consensus, but even so, the church committee votes. Yeah, and when that is taken away from you, the people, that right, that power to cast a vote, to say, I want to give this man this position now. When that is taken away from you, you have nothing left, you know. You don't have no more bargaining chip. That is your entire bargaining chip. As a people, every member of the People's National Party, your entire bargaining chip is your vote as a delegate, is your vote as a member of that organization. That is the long and short of it. That's the only thing you have. And that's the thing that you use to blackmail them every time there's going to be an election for somebody. You say, boy, I want money for my vote. Your bargaining position is now weak. You, the members of the PNP, your bargaining position is weak because you have nothing to bargain with. They took that away from you. They tell you that we can't have no election for this. We can't have an election for the leader because the election around the corner. So nobody can challenge him. That you can't challenge the vice president because the election around the corner. For the last 3 years, you've been hearing that, you know. You can't do these things because an election is around the corner. Therefore, they have taken that away from you. You are told that any election now would disrupt whatever it is that you think gonna have going into an election. And you believe that. But democracy, by definition, is a disruptive process. That is what it does. It uproot and it disrupt and it start again. That's the beauty of democracy. And the PNP have lost that. We used to enjoy it. I remember throughout the entire Portia's presidency, we didn't have an election for vice president. For years, we don't have an election for vice president. PJ talk about it at one conference, that you can't have officers just sit there year after year after year without facing the people. That is the process. Whether an election is around the corner, yes or no, that process must be maintained and must be kept alive for the survival and growth of any democratic organization. And you're wondering, why am I saying all of this? I'm saying all of this because I got a voice note, a series of voice notes, and one particular voice note I got regarding Ian Hills and Craig Oates. Now, uh, uh, I am very slow to even want to say anything about this voice note, but have to be true to myself and say it. I don't know Craig Oates. I've never met the man. I've heard him on many voice notes and many videos, and him and them quarreling and all of them. I took a decision that based on most of those things, I have said to many people in the region that I don't like this fellow. I said it. I don't hate him, but I don't like him. I don't like him because I think that he is dishonorable. And I think that his behavior of recording conversations with persons he talks to without their knowledge is dishonorable. He's not the only one I feel that way about. But this is what we're talking about now. So this is how this have to be fleshed out. I have to say that. I can't continue and do say that. To record someone without their knowledge is a betrayal. And it's intended to cause harm. Because if it was not intended to cause harm or intended to cause disruption, there would be no need to record it. Because you could say, I had a conversation with X and he said this and I said that, and people would be able to believe you. And the next person can come out and say, that's not exactly what I said and stuff. But to record somebody without their knowledge or consent is a betrayal. And it is intended to cause harm. It's not intended for any good by anyone who records someone while talking to them. So that's the only reason why I'd say I don't like Mr. Oates, because I just think that that's a very dishonorable behavior to do that all the time. You know, I mean, unless you work for some secret government agency or that. But it's a betrayal. Maybe not of trust, because maybe the person you're talking to is not somebody you actually trust, and by recording them, it's clearly exists that, you know, there is no trust. But it is still a betrayal, because it's a betrayal of candor and basic decency of having a conversation. I cannot in all good conscience understand it. And I would, and people say to me sometimes, be careful you talk to some people because them will record you. I do not care. Record all you want, and do whatever you want with that. But I could not, in good conscience, record a conversation that I'm having with somebody. For what reason except to cause harm? In my mind, I can't see any other reason other than make a record him. That just in case, and if you do this and tell him something, make a go. It is. It is a betrayal of candor and a lack of decency. It's dishonorable. But here's this recording with Hoots and Ian Eels talking about all kind of things. And the first thing that came to my mind when I listened to the conversation is the question I start asking in the war room is, I mean, we need to ask some question. The first thing is, why did Ian Eels call Craig Oates? Craig Oates, who they have mistreated and treat him like him is a nobody. So, a comrade who has spent money, resources, and time and effort to organize a particular constituency down in Region 6 and has been very vocal, somebody who entertained them, carried on Mark, set up big crowd for Mark, pay for hotel for Mark, pay for food, do all kind of things under the guise that he might help organize a constituency, and if them don't find a candidate, then maybe he could step in as the candidate. And they screwed him, as they normally do, you know? So why would Ian Eels call Craig Oates, knowing full well that he was going to be recorded? And in one of the conversations, he even said it. He even said it, and Oates quickly covered it up and said, and went on to talk loud that you know, so that that part of the conversation could kind of disappear in the background. So he must have known that he was going to be recorded, and that the recording would make the rounds on social media. So that's the first question that swirled to my head. Why would he call Oates about this fellow Jerome Darnell, who is an excellently nice fellow? Why would Ian Eels do that? And my guess is, and this is only guess, is that Ian Eels wanted some things to come out, and him wanted, yes, in the conversation him wanted Oates to go talk to Darnell. I would imagine that him call Oates to ask him that because Oates does have some influence with PNP people in some quarters down there, and him decided that him going to engage a conversation, a pretty long conversation, I would say, with Oates regarding this. A conversation that reached absolutely nowhere if that was the reason in the first place. But a number of things came out of that conversation. There's a conversation that is Angela put in the mayor because Oates get a chance to vent some things that he wanted to vent about for a while, as I might imagine. Then what is it all about, really? What is it? Is it about the fact that Jerome Darnell wants to challenge Colin Hitchman for regional chairman? It couldn't be just that. Why Hales would have taken up the phone and called Oates, knowing full well that Oates is going to record him. Angela's name came up a couple of times. Oates bash Angela. Ian Hales do him little thingy by keeping quiet in some point, giggling and snickering at some point, because him naturally like the bashing of Angela because they are mortal enemies, you know. But I could ask a number of other questions as to why Ian Hales would call Oates. Do they really want to continue with Hitchman? Does Ian and the pedophile really don't want any challenge? And why do they not want any challenge? And then, could it be that Hales also believed that Jerome Darnell is a proxy for Angela Brownburg, and so he wanted to make a call to Oates so that Oates can big it up and go out all kind of foolishness that him know Oates is going to go on with? What exactly is the reason? But let's look at Jerome Darnell. Nice fellow. Pretty good looking. Attractive fellow. Young. Have enjoyed the support and the respect of the people in Region 6. And clearly, if he should challenge Colin Hitchman for regional chairman, clearly he has a chance of winning. Clearly. Because if that wasn't the case, then why would Ian be losing his mind about it to the extent that he took the decision to make a call to Craig Oates to record him, to say that him not supporting Daniel and the pedophile not supporting Daniel should not be feeling any way that the pedophile not supporting him. Anybody that the pedophile not supporting is a good thing. You don't want that kind of support. So Ian is upon the general secretary, the gen sec not support him. I am not supporting him. So why then? Why is it that Daniel has the blessings of Angela Brown-Burke, that him should contest that seat because she into disruption too? I know. But in any case, why not? Each man has been chairman of the region from God knows when. Nothing that has happened positively in the region has anything to do with any of you. So when Ian talking about him winning constituency by 800 votes, if I was me, I wouldn't chat that foolishness by the Yara Road. You really shouldn't go road, go talk that foolishness. 800 votes. You lost two of your divisions, and the recording that talk about you won your division by 800 votes. When I'm really analyzing this thing and look at that foolishness that you're talking about, I can't go into that right now with you. I'm not going into that right now with you. But why Daniel cannot challenge each man? The same lame argument about we're going into an election. We're going into an election for the last 3 years. So we're going into an election, and because you're going into an election, the delegates and members of the People's National Party from Region 6 should not have the opportunity to cast a vote for somebody else that they might or might not want to be a new regional chairman. Why not? What is it? Because you don't have all the ducks them line up in a row, or no one or ducks come farm a next line? Daniel clearly poses some level of threat in terms of the support that he possibly could have in Region 6. As to why I don't want him to go offer himself. Kalinic, I am not beat up Kalinic, man. Not beating him up at all. But Kalinic, man, is basically out of touch with the realities of the political realities on the ground. Kalinic, man, don't have a clue about the political realities on the ground. A young fellow like Daniel, who is in tune with social media and in tune with young people and in tune with the younger part of the PMP organization. Why not? Why not? I am not batting for anyone, you know. I'm not batting for Jerome. I like Jerome, but I'm not batting for him. But he has been the regional secretary, so clearly Ms. Wana Uno. But I know no have internal politics going on, and people like Jerome and each man will be the pawn in that, because each man him have to hold on to that look up. There's nothing else he can get. There's nothing else that each man can get, and each man does not bring anything to the table. Each man can't influence anybody's vote in terms of a general elections. Each man have absolutely no kind of influence with the voting public. None at all. He barely have any with PMP people, except for those who know him and know them. So why not? So these are the questions. We're asking a lot of questions. Why Ian has called Craig Oates? Why he stayed on the phone so long with Craig Oates? I'm a very inquisitive mind, you know. I could dissect those voice notes and tell you all kind of things from them. You would be amazed to know how many things I can tell you from those recordings. And Hales knew that he was being recorded, and he clearly wanted to be recorded. And I'm not going to go into what ends do I feel that he wanted really to be recorded for one reason or the other. I knew that Oates was recording him. And now I understand today. I got another voice note, a kind of a video thing, that says that Jerome has resigned or intends to resign. I don't know. So this is the party shop organization that Mark Golding has been presiding over for almost 4 years now, where nobody should challenge anybody, where democracy is dead and people's right to vote and choose is dead and hidden behind a concept that nobody can challenge anybody, or anybody can offer it, or nobody can offer themselves for a position which is already held by somebody else, because an election is around the corner. And the PMP delegates and members have sold themselves to that idea and got buried in that idea that you don't even know that the entire power that you have in that organization is just that vote. And you have given it up. You have surrendered it to the idea that nobody can run for nothing against the other person who already own the position, because an election has been around the corner for over 3 years. And the corner is deep. So nobody can challenge anybody. And next year, you're going to possibly hear the same thing, because an election is not due until next year, 25. Next year, 2025. So maybe it goes down to then, and this time next year you're hearing the same argument, election soon call, so nobody can challenge anybody. And very soon, pretty soon, that democracy that you used to enjoy, that power that you used to enjoy, no longer yours. No vice president now vote for, no president can be challenged, nobody can challenge nobody, and everybody holding the same position from regional go all the way down to divisional, where nobody wants to challenge anybody because an election is round the corner. And you must know, I know, that it's damn nonsense. You must know, I know, that it's absolute nonsense, and it's just a way of keeping you from exercising your democratic right to elect somebody. And you might be tired of the other person and want to have somebody else to represent you, and you are denied that. But you're not denied it, It's you gave it up. It's you gave it up. It's you give it up. And Jerome is a decent person. He enjoys good relationship with most of his peers, and he has been a regional secretary for a while. So the problem is, why is it a problem for him to express a desire to move up from regional secretary to regional chairman? Why is that an issue? Yeah, Niels need to answer the question. Why is that issue? And I understand that Mark Golden told Jerome that he shouldn't go. He shouldn't offer himself. I understand that the leader of the party told Jerome Daniel that he should not contest the regional chairmanship, a simple election that is dependent on the delegates in the region. But then again, as I said, there are so many things that you can fish out from that conversation, because Ian has made it clear that him not no delegates, and Craig was also making it clear that many places don't have no delegates because they control the party. Them don't feel like them need to continue that whole delegate process is unimportant to them, because them can just get together and say this man forget it and this woman forget it, and only the people who think so not delegate is not really a delegate. You don't have no power. So them don't want no contest because you're not no delegate. You get it? They don't want no contest because you're all not delegates anymore. Don't know if it's the same all over the place. I am going to now investigate that to see where the delegates thing stands across all regions. Why ENA is the vice president in charge of Region 6, who just admitted on recording that him himself don't have no delegates. I mean, the ones that he had before was always bogus delegates. The ones that selected him for the candidacy for Western Westmoreland. And him say him don't have none. Him done with the paper group. Him want to make it look like and sound like him going to start over by doing the correcting and actually having people instead of just paper. I don't know. There's so much to unpack from those voice notes, and I'll continue to listen and make notes of it, because I'm sure there are other things in it that I can figure out. But you, the PNP people, have to ask yourself, why is it that you can't contest anything? Why is it you don't get to vote for anything anymore? And the answer is because you don't have no power anymore. You're not no delegates, you're not in charge of anything now. The only people that are in charge of things is Mark Golden and Dayton Campbell and Peter Bunting and all of them backup artists. them in charge of things now. Unimportant in the scheme of things. Really don't have any power anymore. And democracy has been eroded out of the People's National Party. And I'm going to do everything in my power to ensure that the Jamaican people know that Mark Golden is a threat to democracy. And if what he's doing to the People's National Party is any indication at all, the Jamaican voter should not give him the opportunity to do that to Jamaica. Thank you for listening to my rant. Please give the video a like, a thumbs up, and share it if you want. God bless you all. Stay safe and keep the children safe.